You are watching
Trinity Episcopal School Production Network. TESPN.
Welcome to the TESPN podcast. We got a couple of our golfers here, Grady Williams and Jakob Beauchamp. Golf's had a great season, been ranked in the top 2 or 3 in the state rankings all year. And as we speak to these guys, they just played the Prep League Golf Championship just yesterday. Last year, Trinity won, so trying to defend that title. Didn't quite get it done, but my man Grady here was the individual medalist, shot a 67, 5 under par, up at Old Trail course in Crozet, Virginia. So, Grady, first question for you. I believe you were co-champion last year of the league as an individual, as well as a leader on a team championship. This year, you were the medalist all by yourself. What is it about just the Prep League tournament and an Old Trail course that seems to suit your game?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a pretty open course, and it's like not super long. So, I mean, like, I step up on the tee box, take a driver, hit it as hard as I can. If it goes right, it goes left, whatever. Like, it's not, there's a lot of room to like miss. I mean, yesterday, like, I was hitting it pretty straight, and it definitely saved me a few shots. But I mean, it's like a pretty open course, so it suits my game pretty well.
And Jakob, obviously, this is your first time playing in the Prep League tournament as a new student at Trinity this year. I know we talked before we went on air. You weren't super thrilled with your performance yesterday, but overall, you've had a great season. Can you talk a little bit about what it's been like joining a new team, being in a new school, and just what that process has been like for you this year?
Yeah, the transition has been super easy school-wise. It's much better than what I had before, and the golf team is also much better. It's been a great experience so far, and happy I've done it.
All right, with you guys being, the 1 and the 3 seeds on the team, being atop the upper part 6, how do you guys, both being juniors, how do you expect like the leadership over, a dominant junior, senior team? How do you guys keep, the team together being such an individual sport?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, my leadership kind of comes from, like, the experience I have. Like, I definitely have the most experience on the team, so I can, like, use, like, that kind of stuff and push the team forward.
Yeah, golf is an individual sport, but it's a team sport in school, and we're all close friends. We hang out outside of school, play golf together every day, so it's really a tight-knit group that actually feels like a team instead of a bunch of individuals.
That's awesome. I mean, that's kind of what high school sports is all about. Grady, and I guess, Jakob, for both of you, really, I would imagine that the golf community is relatively close-knit, even outside of school golf. You probably play against a lot of these same guys in different youth tournaments and things like that, especially the guys in the Richmond schools. So what's it like when you put on that Trinity uniform versus maybe tournaments you play in the summer outside of school, when you're competing against probably a lot of the same guys? Like, is there a special pride that comes with representing your school, and also from the guys like that you might know on teams like Collegiate St. Christopher's, other Richmond schools? Is there some banter, trash talk? What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, it's still a golf tournament. I mean, I'm going to treat it the same as I would with anything else. I mean, I'm going out. We're, like, all friends, but we're there to win. It's a gentleman's game, so we're not really trash talking each other, letting our game do the talking.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to win, but it adds something special when you're representing a team, I think.
So, golf probably has a reputation of not being, that physically induced, or, you don't need that much stamina. What do you guys do, per week? How much rounds do you play? Like, what other, strength work are you guys putting in to maximize your performances?
Yeah, I mean, I'm, like, practicing every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just practice every day,
What, do you, like, when you go to practice, do you just play 9 or play 18, or do you work on, like, today I'm going to work on chipping, today I'm going to work on driving, today I'm going to work on putting?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about, like, recognizing weaknesses in the game at that point. I mean, yesterday, like, I struggled putting a little bit, so, I mean, this week I'll probably focus a lot more on putting than I would with other parts of my game. So, yeah, I mean, I go to practice with, like, a goal in mind, like, with the intent to get better every day.
When been focusing a lot on short game this season, so majority of practice been short game, but we'll just try to get out and play too.
And again, like as an individual sport, but in the team context, for your coaches, Coach Bender, Coach Weiler, Coach Lonan, I think is out there. How do they, like, do they have to tailor their coaching kind of for each individual player, or are there certain themes as a team? Like for me as a soccer coach, I want like our team, like everyone to be aggressive, even if that's not in their nature. Just what do you think it's like to coach a golf team at the high school level?
Yeah, it's definitely different because there's like such a variety of skill and experience. I mean, you know, from me to like our sixth player and us, like a lineup, like the way that our coaches want us to approach a round would definitely be different. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a little bit of a difference.
So but you feel like each of you get a lot of individual attention.
I think so, yeah.
Nothing to add on that one?
No.
Let me, before we, Sylvia, I know you might want to ask another question. I am curious, just for golf fans who might be watching, you know, golf has really gotten a lot of a spotlight as a sport in the last couple of years with the Live Tour coming and a lot of the, you know, big names in golf switching from the PGA, and then also the Netflix series that I know I'm sure you guys have watched. In fact, Grady, I think you make a brief appearance in that. What's it called again? What's the series called?
Full swing.
Full Swing, yeah. Episode 4?
I think so.
Yeah. Look for Grady, brief cameo. But I was just gonna say, with golf becoming, you know, a sport that I feel that just as a sports fan has gotten more attention. How does that, for you all as youth golfers, do you feel like it gives more credibility, whereas maybe before it was more like football or basketball players got more attention? But you just feel like golf is getting more, maybe like the recognition it deserves?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, I like, you know, morning meeting today, like 67 gets announced. Most people don't really understand that. You know, it's not the same as saying like football, somebody throw for 400 yards. Like it's a great game. Like most people would understand 400 yards is pretty crazy.
What percentage do you think of Trinity students know that the low score is better in golf?
I bet it's like 60%. Like I bet like 60% know that like lower is better, but like I don't think that they would know like what like a good score would be.
I mean, 40% not knowing it's like 200 kids at our school don't know. We need to educate them, Grady. We need to educate them on the intricacies of golf. Sylvia, do you have any more questions?
I don't think we should have lightning round.
All right, let's do a lightning round. I don't even know what I'm going to ask yet, but we're going to figure it out. Do a few quick questions, and just kind of first thing that pops in my mind, I'll ask you. First thing that pops in your mind will be your answer. Who is your favorite golfer?
Let's stick with Minwoo Lee.
Rory.
Whose game, in terms of like a professional golfer, do you think your game is most like?
Probably Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, Rory. Not
So
as good as Grady's Rory, but
If you could play on any course in the United States, where would you like to play?
Augusta.
Pebble Beach.
If you could play on any course outside the United States, where would you like to play?
St. Andrews.
And in terms of like a style of golf course, like near the ocean, more wooded, more wide open, like what links style, like what's your favorite style of golf course?
Probably link style.
Links is cool, but something open. I like suits my eye.
All right, then moving away from golf, what's your favorite class this year?
History.
Math.
And who has been your biggest inspiration in terms of maybe a coach, a parent, a mentor, an older player? Who's a mentor for each of you guys?
Yeah, definitely my dad.
Yeah, my dad.
And what's your favorite? I guess you don't really necessarily do a pre-game meal for golf, but maybe like the night before a big golf tournament. What would you think would be your night before meal?
Whatever my mom makes.
Yeah, special.
You have a hype song?
Not really.
It's just a rap.
Who's the funniest player on the team?
Peter.
Who's the coolest kid on the team?
Kyle Plug.
Yeah.
Kyle. And last one. Finish this sentence. In 10 years, I will be.
Playing on the PGA Tour.
Working job I like. Owning my own business.
Okay. Jacob, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Thank you.
All right. Well, congratulations, you guys, on a great season. As we are filming this, state golf tournament is just a few days away, right here in Richmond at Meadowbrook Country Club. So go check these guys out. They have a real shot, I think, at winning the state golf tournament, especially if Jacob plays his best game, brings his A game over to Meadowbrook on Monday. And Grady, congratulations again on being, shooting a 67 at the Prep League tournament and being the individual champion. That is something to be very, very proud of, young man. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and we're gonna now switch to a different gear and talk a little bit about spring sports in general at Trinity. So stick around. All right, we're going to give everybody a quick recap of what's been going on this spring. We haven't done this for a while. Been a really busy spring of Titan athletics. Starting on the girls' side, girls lacrosse has had a good season, winning record. They're 10th in the state and have a chance to make the state tournament. I think only 8 make that one, so they're kind of on the bubble, but definitely been a strong season for them. And they just celebrated their senior day. 10 seniors, I think, on that team, or 9 players and a manager. So that they've had a great year. Girls soccer, we've had a good year. Definitely have had more injuries than we've ever had, and this is my 19th year coaching girls soccer. We're down about 6 starters or major contributors right now, but the girls have continued to battle. We're 7th in the state rankings and should make the state tournament. So excited for that group. And then softball has had one of the best seasons in a long, long time. As we film this, they're the number 1 seed in the LIS tournament. They'll be hosting the LIS championship game tomorrow, or by the time you watch this, that may have already happened. They're 3rd in the state. So fantastic season for softball. And if they do win the LIS tournament, it would be the first time in softball since 1993. So 30 years they're trying to get that monkey off their back. So great job for softball. And then girls track, we continue to see the same names putting up great performances like Lily Verson and Lucy Verson. And then the boys side of things, golf, you just heard from Grady Williams and Jakob Beauchamp. Trinity Golf is top 3 in the state. Tennis, boys tennis, number 2 in the state. They've had a great year. They're actually doing the Prep League tournament today as we film this. Baseball, not quite as good a season as they would want, but they got a big win on senior day yesterday over Fort Union. Boys lacrosse, been a bit of a tough year. They've also had a lot of injuries. I know their leading scorer, Greg Gallinger, has been out for the last few games, just hurt. They've still had, I think, a fun season for boys lacrosse. And then boys track and field, a lot of participation there, and they've been doing well. So I would say right now, softball, tennis, and golf all are state contenders and definitely contenders to win their league championship. And then soccer and girls lacrosse have had solid seasons. Baseball, a little bit disappointing, but they've come on strong lately. And boys lacrosse, I've talked to a lot of those guys. They've had a fun season as well. And track is on the up for sure. Just in general, track had a great winter, and they're doing their thing in the spring.
Yeah, they have. They got 2nd in LIS or VPL in the winter, and they have that meet this weekend. So see how that goes for them.
Yeah, for sure.
They definitely added a bunch of athletes. So
yeah, it's fun watching their progress, because track has been a sport here that's been just kind of so-so for a long time, but they've really stepped up this year. All right, well, I wanted to ask Nathaniel and my man Silvio here. In recent, the last couple of weeks, who's an athlete of the week for you?
I'm gonna go with Catherine Pollard. She hit a milestone 100 goals in lacrosse. So shout out Catherine.
Yeah, and only a junior.
Yeah.
More to come for sure. That's awesome.
I'm going to go with Grady Williams. He, just medalist in the big tournament. He's medalist. I think 10 out of 12 for the regular season. He's probably one of the best seasons he's had so far in golf.
Yeah, we just heard from Grady. It was fun talking to him. I know I taught Grady as a 9th and a 10th grader, and I mean that kid loves to talk about golf. So I'm just really happy the success that he's had. and he's helped lead this team to be a state contender for sure. For my athlete of the week, or excuse me, I'm going to make it athletes plural, Roman and Damon Sancilio, two brothers. Their dad's also the coach for boys tennis.
Another Damien.
And yeah, also Damien Sr., I guess. But Roman and Damien, as a doubles partnership, have won virtually every match they played this year. They both also have great singles records. And just talking to those guys this morning, they think they have a real shot to win preps and state. So really the only team that I think they've lost to, at least on the private school side this year, is St. Christopher's, who beat them 5-4 the first time, and I think it was a little more lopsided the second match, but there were some extenuating circumstances. So Roman and Damien will be my athletes of the week, and let me give a also honorable mention shout out for LB Welch, our main pitcher in softball. We just talked about softball's having probably the best season in 30 years, and LB has been striking out. It seems like at least 10 batters every game, sometimes up to 14. I think she had in one game. I think she's thrown a no-hitter in there.
She has consistent no-hitters.
Yeah, so she's been incredible. And softball is a sport where if you've got a great pitcher, you've always got a chance. And fortunately for this year's Titan softball, they do have a great pitcher. Anything you guys are looking forward to here in the coming we got about a week and a half left of spring sports?
I mean, definitely just wrapping everything up, seeing how the teams do in the final state tournament, and then shout out, we got this weekend sports banquet.
Mm-hmm. Really excited for the sports banquet. Some major senior awards are going to be handed out that we recently voted on as a coaching staff. So excited to see how those play out, and I know they're going to have an awesome video, food. So yeah, sports banquet this Saturday, May 13th, I believe is the date. So if you're watching this, you love Titan sports, so definitely come out to the sports banquet. Silvio?
Definitely all the state games and championship games we're gonna have here. Probably definitely gonna try to watch the softball and maybe the soccer one that are happening pretty soon. So this will be really exciting on campus.
Well, it's been an awesome spring for Titan athletics. We'll hopefully have at least one or two more of these before the school year is over, and really just kind of put a bow on what's been a great year for Trinity athletics. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks to Grady and Jacob for being our interview subjects this week, and thanks for everyone who watches. For this week's TESPN podcast, I'm Rick Hamlin. We'll see you next time.